taking time out with Premier Sports Officials Association. Sean Johnston from Omaha, Nebraska, bringing you today training tape for week 2 of high school basketball. I want to thank all the subscribers out there. We're up to 781. Those of you who have been watching the training tapes, last week we had 130 views, which is great. These videos, again, are for 100% educational purposes. We never pick plays or games to embarrass coaches, players, schools, or officials. Thank you to NHSOA for continuing to upload the game film of boys basketball and girls basketball in the state of Nebraska, as that's where we go to pick random games. I literally pick a game. I usually start at the beginning of the game, find 3 to 4 plays we could learn from. Sometimes it's exactly what officials are asked to do, and other times it's we take examples of plays of how we could handle a play or situation differently. If you have a play that you think could be great education for players, coaches, officials, and fans watching these videos, please send them to psoa@premiersportsofficials.com. On our next training videos, we'll have that email address in the comments section where you could copy and paste or click it to send in those plays. A question last week, we do also put in shorts on a daily standpoint, and we also put in quiz questions. So as well with these training tapes, if you click on the shorts, you're going to see a bunch of basketball and previously football plays. So if you click on shorts and then just click on each play, they're all under 60 seconds of one specific snapshot of a game, of a rule, of a mechanic, of a philosophy. So this is rough post play example. If you do watch these shorts and you enjoy them, please click the like button. It does help us learn what our audience is looking for. And then for the quizzes, if you click on community, here is the daily rule question today. So B3 is in the lane, stationary, legally facing the opponent, dribbling the ball down the lane. A1, seeing this defender, takes a legal sidestep and gets their head and shoulder past the stationary defender. Then A1 makes contact with B3, displacing B3. Falls to the floor while gathering the basketball to shoot. Both teams have 2 teams foul. What is the call? So first off, we have to answer, is it a block or charge? Stationary legal defender, but the head and shoulder got past that defender. The defender's job is to stay in front. The offensive player's job by rule is to avoid contact, which they do by getting a head and shoulder across. So we have a block. Next rule portion we have to understand, is this in the act of shooting or is this before shooting? Well, by definition, gathering the basketball is the beginning of the habitual movement to shoot. So now we are in the act of shooting. So the correct call is going to be block on B3, since A1 is in the act of shooting. And then what we do, you have automatic feedback. We got a correct answer, and here's the explanation. So if you want to go deeper into rule book, you could get out the rule book and go exactly where we found the information. So we ask officials, take time out. Do one daily rules question. Should take about 10 to 30 seconds. Automatic feedback, and if you don't believe the question, we give you the rule reference where to look it up. Second is the short. Again, we release 1 per day. So this is one on an opening tip of who had possession and who should have the arrow. Again, all these shorts are underneath 60 seconds. And then at least visit once a week for the weekly training tapes. So a little background how there's a little bit more to the YouTube channel if you're not familiar with it. With that being said, let's get into these week's plays. Randomly picked 3 games, and I found about 3 or 4 plays from each game to talk about rules, talk about arts and science of officiating, and of course, mechanics, signals, reporting, and resumption of play. As we let this play go, we're looking, how does a player lose possession of this basketball? All right, so remember, by rule, it is legal to reach for the ball. It's legal to reach and make contact with the hand of the dribbler. From this angle, we do not have a clear look of when this secondary defender is reaching. Do they make illegal contact or contact with the ball and or hand? We definitely know this center official has a great look at it though. All right, the other portion of this is number 11. Is this hand check, arm bar? So we have the arm bar. Arm bar is not a foul. It's the extended arm bar that is a foul. So no foul on number 11 here. We have a reach on the other secondary defender. Ball comes out. The judgment is legal reach that made the ball loose. Now we got transition. You talk about, what could we talk about in pregame? We're in week 2. We got 10 games underneath our belt. When you're working with different partners, this should be in your pregame. In a transition situation, we don't have front court primary coverage areas yet. So the official that has the best look in this situation is center official. All right. New lead official. If you're beat, it's okay. Take the play from behind. Stop right here at this 3-point arc where the volleyball line meets the 3-point arc, and you're going to have a good look through on this. But right now, this lead official is blocked. This center official has a great look at this. So if we have a foul, 2 options. Lead official, stay behind. Center official, take responsibility of this, because typically the center official has a really good look at it. No foul was called, play on. But again, the purpose of that play was to discuss transition. We don't have primary coverage areas yet. All right, we have angles, and we need to work hard to get those angles. We're going to have a set of fouls here to talk about the arts and science of officiating and consistency. All right, so here we go. We have a drive to the basket. Starts in the center official's primary coverage area, because now we are in half court coverage. Primary defender is right here. That's who the center is going to be responsible for. Secondary defender, number 20, is right here. All right. Right now, 20 does not have legal guarding position because they're not facing the opponent. Their head is turned, but they're not facing the opponent. As this play goes, they're jumping from one spot forward into another spot. This is correctly called push, 2 shots on the defense. Notice how stationary this calling official, the lead official who took on the secondary defender is. He sees it. Nice straight arm up with a closed fist. Let players and coaches know what type of foul. Let the crew know active shooting, 2 free throws. Runs to the reporting area, nice and clear. We see the number, we have a voice, and we have the resumption of play. So not only is it a good call, the correct official got the call, and we have great mechanics after it. It's a good way to start the game with judgment, signals, and mechanics. Our next play is going to also be a play in the paint. So now we're going to try to create consistency in a game. All right, so now we have a secondary defender jumping straight up, and the offense initiating the contact on this vertical defender and taking the defender away from the basket. So after the contact, is the offense at a disadvantage? Yes, but who created that disadvantage? We have a legal defender facing the opponent. We have a legal defender going vertical straight up, and we have offensive initiated contact. So though coaches will be like, that's the same play. It might be a similar play, but it's not the same player behavior. First play, defense jump forward. Second play, defense jump completely straight up with legal guarding position. Offense initiated this contact and put himself at a disadvantage. Great no call here as a crew, and we're trusting our crew members. So this was great start. Now going to the third verticality play. Same game, same quarter. Who's a foul on? Or is this no foul? Play on. This is an art and science to officiating. This is a true example of a 50-50 call, and I would agree with any decision, any judgment the officiating crew came up with. But now let's first talk mechanics. We're front court, primary coverage area, and we're right in the middle of the lane. But where did this play start? The play started in the trail. So trail official has this defender from the beginning, middle, to the end. So I am going to let this trail official take this matchup the whole entire time. 14 goes forward. Does he displace the defense? I don't think enough to gain an advantage. Defense now comes forward. Does he lose verticality to create a disadvantage? In this official's judgment, no. So this is a 50-50 call. I'm leaving it up to my partner of the trail because it started in his area, and I'm going to let that official explain to a coach why it was or was not a foul. So in this case, it was not a foul. We have contact, and after the contact, both players were not put at an unequal advantage. Now, if that official did call it loss of verticality, defense moving forward, it's important we communicate that now as a crew, so now when we have a similar play, we know that threshold. This official said, nope, that's not enough for this game. So now we as a crew now have to understand that and have that meet future thresholds in this game. Great job by all three officials trusting each other. We have another play later on, but just know this is a 50-50 call. Trust your partner. If it's an obvious foul and everybody in the gym sees it, I don't care where you're at on the court, we're there to get the 100% fouls. So this is a great job by this crew, arts and science, verticality, initiating contact, and the result of it afterwards. That sounds like just from this training video here and watching these clips, this crew is on the same page, and this is going to be a smooth game. On to the next game here. We're going to take a look at a screen. All right, why is this not an illegal screen? Number 2 you're going to see is moving when he initiates this contact. Coaches watching this video, very important to understand. When the screener is moving, we have a potential illegal screen. But now, what happened? The defense switched. When the defender switched, this action by number 2 is no longer a screen. So now we have contact among opponents. After the contact, is anybody put at an advantage? No. We revert back to incidental contact. So correctly ruled, not an illegal screen, team control foul block while moving and screening because they switched. It's no longer a screen. Now I'm going to go back to the previous game and compare it to another play. All right, we're going to have a pass, a cut, and boom, he runs right into the opponent. And that opponent is still trying to guard the same player. This is an illegal screen. It is, this defender has a right to the spot of this court because he got to that spot first. 13 on offense runs into him, takes him away from that spot. That is a team control foul for block, illegal screen. All right, a lot of cool stuff here. First off, number 2, offense. We got defense. Is this enough for a foul? Making space? I do not believe so, as well as this calling official does not believe so. Yes, he does go forward and create contact. But when he goes forward and creates contact, he doesn't displace. The defense also agrees, yep, I'll back up a little bit. I'm good with backing up. The defense is not put at a disadvantage after that contact. Incidental contact, correct, no call. Travel rule. This is going to have to be slow motion. This goes back to arts and science as a crew in game-to-game situations. So let's first talk about the rule. So this is where the player has gathered the basketball. Both feet are on the ground, so either foot could be the pivot foot. So typically we say when the player catches it with both feet on the ground, either foot is a pivot foot. That's the same thing when the dribble is over and they gather the basketball. You're going to see the front foot, the right foot, come off the ground and then come back down onto the ground. So in the official's judgment, if that right foot was the first foot movement, so that's the pivot foot, he lifted it, he landed it, and now we have a travel. Good job, open hand, raise arm, and then we have the clear violation of travel signal. In this situation, I would say out loud, right foot was the pivot foot. So now when the coach goes back to this game film, man, that official said right foot, pivot foot. I'm going to watch the right foot here. Oop, right foot comes off the ground, right foot comes back onto the ground. Correct judgment, travel. 2 feet on the ground when the ball was caught. First pivot foot down was the right foot. He lifted it, he landed it, travel call. All right, this next play, we're going to talk about a crash underneath the basket, block charge. I will say this, when John Dolliver came and talked to us about the NSAA preseason observers, we need to call fouls. When you have a crash underneath the basket, we need a foul, and when it's a 50-50 foul like this, you got to pick one, okay? So let's play this out, and we'll go through the process. Primary defender, primary coverage area is the trail. Lead official, we like you to be wider here. When you're wider, you have a better perspective of the whole entire play from the beginning, middle, and end. All right, because once they start driving, number one is going to go towards the baseline. The defender's back is going to block your partner's view. When you're wider, you now can see the secondary defender and continue to help on this primary defender. Secondary defender, legal guarding position. 2 feet on the ground, facing the opponent. Now we have an airborne shooter. All right, so when that player went airborne, was that defender exactly at that spot clearly prior to that airborne shooting the ball? And if not, we have a foul on the defense because the defense has to allow a place for the offense to land for safety reasons. All right. In my judgment, this defender was not clearly at that spot before this player got airborne. We have contact. After the contact, we definitely have a disadvantage. We have a missed shot, and this previous offensive shooter is out of position to get a rebound. This would be a block in my book. Defense got there late, initiated a contact on an airborne shooter. If you disagree and you think the defender got there, got hit in the torso, and got displaced, that is your judgment. You just have to be able to explain it to a coach. But we need something on this play. This is a crash underneath the basket. We need a foul on that play. Here's the last game we found in the state of Nebraska, and we're going to talk about opening tip here and our mechanics. So great job, 2-hand toss, straight up into the air. Well done. Next great thing here, he sets the possession arrow with his left arm saying, white is going to be the next team with the ball. And look at the possession arrow. It is correctly pointed to the white team. We have a held ball. Boom, possession arrow, white ball. The held ball happened inside that semicircle, correctly inbounded at the end line. The semicircle in high school goes down to the end line. Good start to the game there. All right, the next play we're going to talk about here, we have another held ball, but dead ball officiating. As these girls tie up and both possess this basketball, we have swinging. Right here's the whistle. The ball is now dead. Players, if you're watching this video, when you hear officials blow the whistle and you're jostling for the basketball, just let go. No matter who gets the basketball after you hear the whistle, we're still going to the possession arrow as an officiating crew. So the best thing to do to keep yourself safe from a judgment of an official of an excessive dead ball contact foul is let go of the ball. Because as we see here, we still swing and there's an elbow. In this situation, there was no contact. Let's say there was contact. Now the officials have to determine, was the contact after the whistle blown a common foul elbow, or was it above what was necessary, excessive, and unneeded, which now we would go into a technical foul. All right, so if it's a common foul elbow after a whistle, by rule we ignore it. 419.1 note. But if we have dead ball contact because that was an excessive swinging of the elbow, we would have a technical foul. If you put officials in the judgment box, we're going to err on the side of safety on swinging of the elbows and call it excessive dead ball technical foul. So players, on a held ball situation, whistle blows, just let it go. Let that ball go. All right, we're going to talk about, is this jumping into the shooter? And can this be a play where it's out of my area and my fishing in somebody else's pond? And should I get the call right? So you got the lead official underneath the basket. You have the lead official officiating this defender, but the offensive player blocks the lead official on this defender. All right. So now we have the defender jumping forward into the shooter. Trail official, you have the best look at this as the lead official got blocked. If you judge this was enough contact jumping forward into the shooter, this is a foul. So art and science of officiating. If this basket goes in as a trail official, I will not call this a foul. But with that basket not going in and the shooter's body being turned and a turned shooter is unnormal, I am going to come in and I'm going to have a closed fist. I'm going with the pushing signal, number 10 blue jumping forward into the shooter, turning the shooter. And then if a coach is still arguing or asking the question, what could my girl do? I could say it's A to B. It's straight up. You can't go into that shooter. So this is an example. Trust your partner, give them first shot, but then come in late, get the call right for the crew. All right, so now the last thing that we're going to end here, this is a mechanics question. Many people ask me, Sean, what's the proper mechanics here? When we have a foul in the backcourt, and it's going to be on the rebound, not the shot here, and it's called by the lead, center, and trail official, where do we properly go after the foul? So blue has the ball here. So now blue is going this direction. So we have the new lead, center, and the trail official is going to be calling this foul. Important to know this, the trail official is calling this foul. If the trail calls a foul in the backcourt and we're going to go to the front court with no free throws, we go back to our original spots. Had this lead, the new lead official, call this foul, he would step out, report the foul, and stay the new lead. Had the center official call that foul, he would come out, report, and stay the C. All right, so when there is a change of possession by mechanics, lead, center, trail, you report, you do not switch. It's different if we have a team control, player control foul. If the lead official opposite table calls a charge on the offense as a lead official, he would come out, they would report it in this reporting area, and stay table side as a center official. This center official would come inbound the ball. But that's when the offense fouls. In this case, change of possession, defense fouled. We are not changing positions. So if you do have questions on that, again, you could email me at psoa@premiersportsofficials.com. I know many officials this year did not get a mechanics manual, so a lot of new officials don't have that manual to learn from. Contact me. I'll send you the page and exact reference and explaining that. But on a player control foul, here's the rationale behind it. That's usually an emotional foul. It's a foul at the basket, taking points away, giving the other team the ball. You want the calling official to stay table side to communicate to coaches. This foul, 94 feet away. The team that was in possession still has possession. It's not an emotional foul. It's a less emotional foul. That's why there's no switches on that. That is our training tape for this week. Again, I encourage everybody to keep on sharing this YouTube channel to coaches, to fans, to players, to spectators. I know every night I go out to the gym, I have a goal. I want to invite 2 people to this YouTube channel to subscribe to it so we could disseminate rules, mechanics, signals, philosophies, and how to handle situations. Because if players, coaches, fans, officials are on the same page on understanding what the rule is, what the philosophy is, what the signals mean, what are the proper mechanics and position to get calls right, we are going to have consistency. And with consistency, we won't have frustration, confusion, and we're going to have positive sporting behavior where players play, coaches coach, officials officiate, and fans cheer for everybody. Thank you for taking time out this week with PSOA. Until we come back here next week, officials, remember, you're only as good as your last call.